Action.
Do you think this project has gone how you thought?
Yes.
Yeah, it has.
It has, definitely. Because as we're very ambitious people, a lot of people like didn't believe that we could do what we do. Like a lot of teachers, they heard the idea and I was like,
We beat the boundaries.
we
That's
just
all we
beat the
need to say.
boundaries, and then we just showed people like we have this, and then we did it, and then that's basically it.
I'd say if we didn't have all the help that we did have, we wouldn't have
gone
been
anywhere.
able to complete what
No.
we've done.
I mean, like it could have gone better, but it could have gone worse at the same time.
If we had more time and money on our side, we could have done
Could've
it
been
10
even
times
better. Yeah,
better,
way more better.
11
But-
times better. But
I feel like what we have now is great. Absolutely.
It's how I thought it would go,
Yeah.
nearly exactly.
Yeah.
If you look at the early concept art and the storyboard and these things, it flows exactly on from it.
we
Yeah.
stuck to our source material as close as we could.
We did, even though in the beginning we did have a lot of
No, in the
ideas.
beginning, we did have loads of ideas, but we were able to, as a group,
Narrow
Get it.
one
Narrow-
down.
narrows into one.
narrow all of the ideas, even if it's only little bits, but get it all into that one,
Precisely.
which I thought we wouldn't be able to achieve.
No.
But
Since we all had different ideas, different, like for instance the Western,
Yeah.
then we had Dark Fantasy. I thought
Yeah.
we wouldn't be able to come to a definitive conclusion without
Exactly.
having a week of thinking.
But it was good, like when you had
we
that.
got it done quite quickly.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah, because
Coming up with ideas.
good when you had that meeting where we just sat there for like 15 minutes, just like talking about different ideas, like spitballing until we came with the one idea.
And that idea, we didn't even notice it at the time, but that idea encompassed all of the other ones that we
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
And that's why it was probably the best idea that we came up with, and that's why we did it.
Fantastic.
How have you implemented 2D, 3D and 4D planning methods?
Well, from the research that I got across when I was doing my planning research, I was able to see like what we'd have to include, and I think we did get almost every possible planning method
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
what we'd done, because we had the risk assessment and then
Yeah.
also the armory risk assessment,
Yeah.
which we needed for the swords. But like we got a 2D floor plan, 3D floor plan. We did test shoots, stunt rehearsals, dress rehearsals.
Mm-hmm.
We almost
And even like 3D model, like we even got like 3D model of the set, and even for
What
the
looked exactly how the
Yeah.
set ended
Yeah.
up looking.
yeah.
even did a table read, which wasn't really necessary, but we still did that to make it more professional and more what it is like in the actual industry.
Well,
Yeah.
we met the standards of the brief
Yeah.
to get all 2D, 3D, 4D planning across, which
Yeah.
Yeah.
we did need to do.
And the planning did help us in the final project.
Yeah.
Yeah. a
Because
lot.
the planning translates exactly into our project.
Especially
Without
when
it,
we're working
it
with
would've been-
outside actors like David as
Yeah.
our wizard, we needed to tell him what we were doing
Yeah.
with it. Like, for instance, we did have the script,
Yeah.
but obviously David and you
Did not stick to it.
Well,
Yeah.
as you the guys didn't learn it, we didn't stick to it. You
Yeah.
for your part, because you didn't have much, you
Yeah.
did stick. But
That's because
we were able to work around in the editing process and in the production process of
But that was a little bit of an issue.
yeah, it was
Getting the cut.
that was the priority issue, but we were able to do it to an extent that it's got the pacing, the tone, all of what we wanted in our script, but
Yeah.
it's not stuck to the script.
well, obviously because the script's just it's a
It's a
template.
guideline.
Yeah, it's like a template,
Yeah.
but like
For
you don't
us.
have to.
I
stick
don't
to
admit,
it
for some
completely.
scenes that David did, he did better than the script.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
actors' improvisation is like really important. Like,
Yeah.
like it's more better for the actors like get into their roles and get into the
Mhm.
field a bit when they're on the
It makes it more organic sounding.
Yeah,
Then if someone's standing there trying to remember a line,
Yeah.
it comes across on the camera.
what's more better to like improvise it in the scene while you're just there, right in the moment.
What was the pre-production period like?
Very stressful.
It was.
But
very
we did
stressful.
progress through it.
Yeah.
How many days?
Chaotic but necessary.
How many days
Yeah.
of like costume building did we have? What was it? 7 in the
Yeah,
end?
Yeah, we had 7.
Seven.
Yeah. Like through like going to Brandon's house.
Over a week as
Or was
well.
it 6? It was either 6 or 7, but we still had the pre-production of the set build,
Yeah.
which, with help, like outside help from the department, such
Really?
as the Miskin
Yeah.
with
Estates.
States,
Yeah.
we were able to pull the idea off
Yeah.
quite easily.
How we saw it.
Yeah, in a short span of time, like in a week, we went from
Yeah.
Monday doing pre-production,
Mhm.
Tuesday doing production, then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all doing post-production.
Yeah.
Which at the end of that week, we was able to get our edit to an extent that without music or anything we could submit.
Yeah.
with pre-production, we were wildly ambitious. You
Yeah.
know, 3 different costumes and an entire set.
Yeah.
You know, I worked on this at home every day for like multiple weeks.
And we always come to yours to help as
Yeah.
well, because we all needed to be there to help you.
Of course.
Mm. Yeah, building those costumes was probably the most ambitious thing.
Yeah.
But I think the easiest thing that helped us with the pre-production was finding the door so easily.
That was
Because then we didn't have to go out of our way to like home base or something to buy a door,
Yeah,
or we
that
didn't have to
saved us
search
money.
through the prop department
It
to
was very-
find a door that would match our concept art and
Yeah.
would match the tone of.
well,
what
with
we
the
needed.
door frame, we looked in the prop department and their door frame wasn't very good.
No.
No.
So I just built one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And off
And it
that,
was
Which
better.
that was done at a quick speed, and
yeah,
also
one day.
and it was there on the day that we needed to film. We didn't delay filming because of it.
Yeah.
yeah, and also sustainable, can use material that you use for another project.
Yeah, recycling from my last project.
But then
was
another
another-
group also used our door for their project.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
which help out other groups.
Yeah.
Which also ethical and responsibility.
But yeah, I do think the pre-production was. I think it was longer than we attended.
Yeah.
I think that
it
was.
was.
the
I
case.
feel like it needed to be.
It needed to be, but I think when we were planning it, we didn't realise it would be so long on doing it.
We
because
probably thought, oh yeah, 2-3 days we'll get
Yeah.
the costumes.
But
Oh, we
Yeah.
can get the set done.
it took
Oh,
an entire
2.
day just to buy the stuff and also basically start doing it.
Yeah.
Like cutting the card.
Took a whole evening
Yeah.
just to make shoulder and arm pads.
Yeah.
you
Just
know.
do the basics such as spray painting jumpers,
Yeah.
cutting paper,
that
cutting
needed-
cardboard.
I mean, making the chainmail took so many attempts
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
try and do the
Well,
right
at least
thing.
we pulled it off for
Yeah.
production.
We didn't give
Yeah.
up. That shows our determination and shows our dedication to someone solving.
Problem solving as well.
Problem solving, yes. Precisely. We have many problems with the real projection and all that.
Yeah,
But we-
making that ourselves showed more creativity than you know
We've,
getting a
perse-
YouTube video.
we've persevered it
Yeah.
all,
Yeah.
through it all, and then we've got the final piece done.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
got that done.
Yeah.
That is done to an extent that I'm happy to say, right, let's submit this to YouTube or
Yeah.
something.
Same with
We
me.
achieved our ambition
Yeah.
with pre-production.
We saw the vision and we took it.
Which I think if a teacher was to say, oh, that idea's not good, we need to
Yeah.
like start again. We were able to do it without our teachers. Like they knew that we wouldn't. I had a feeling that we wouldn't pull it off.
Mm.
But as soon as we saw the door, the
Yeah.
costumes, they
Yeah.
realised, okay, they will be able to achieve it.
Yeah.
Especially when they came in and saw the set.
Yeah, obviously. That set was the pinnacle of creativity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel the filming process went?
Could
Well,
have been better.
could have been
Could have
better if we had more people
Yeah.
and more time.
Yeah.
I think time on this unit was such a big constraint for us.
Yeah.
Our time management
Because with us meeting the brief for certain pieces of information, like the time limit, the planning, we're trying to get all that into our brief to get the highest possibly that we can on our journals, visual planners, and on the actual piece. But
Yeah.
I think if we had more people and if we had a team member that was doing it to the extent they say they were doing it,
Yeah.
I think
I mean,
we could have.
I mean, having that having a lack of a team member is always a downside. But obviously,
We persevered through it.
we did persevere.
Yeah.
Like we,
Right. When what was it? 2 days before we was filming, I had to
Yeah.
quickly whip up a shot list,
yeah,
which I was able to do in such a short time. But
yeah,
even though I'm not cinematographer, I was able to pull it off to an easy like extent.
Because
Yeah.
we understood our project so
Yeah.
well.
yeah,
The thing with production is pre-production overran. We wanted to have 2 days for set build, but we could only get 1.
mm.
I mean, it ended up being 2 anyway, but that got rid of an entire one of our production days because we wanted to have 2 originally, but we only had 1 because the Monday where we wanted to start filming, we had to spend all day building the set and getting test shoots.
Yeah.
So
I think when we got like the test shoots, rehearsals, the dress rehearsals, that was needed because
Yeah.
David we need to see how he would do it,
Yeah,
how
of
you
course.
would do it, how
Yeah.
you would die.
Yeah, of course.
what
And how
we
the
were
camera
gonna
would be.
change.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
necessary.
It was necessary, but
It took more time than we
it-
wanted it to.
it did overrun, which then made our filming very rushed. Means we couldn't
Yeah.
get all the shots that we wanted to. That's
Yeah.
why we had to do
Well,
reshots.
We got minimal coverage.
Yeah.
The potions,
to be fair.
but yeah,
That is additional photography, which was very key.
yeah. But I do think
We got there,
pre-production was a
and the
Good.
production, and we got a decent result.
Yeah.
How do you feel the acting performance went?
Could have done better.
Yeah,
On my part, at least.
Yeah,
I do-
None of us are professional actors.
of course.
Of course not.
I feel like I could have done a lot better in terms of like emotion and just not sounding cringe. That might just be me reacting to my own voice and my own performance like negatively, but I still feel I could have done better.
I do think that like Timothy's acting as Big Dead was well because he was able to stay in such a still position for such a long time.
Yeah.
I know some shots it's like your head's moved a bit or
Yeah, but
your we
no one really
couldn't
noticed.
help
It doesn't
it.
matter.
In the
No one
editing
noticed
process
that.
we couldn't help that because we couldn't build the set again, we couldn't get the
Yeah,
mud
of
back in the
course.
studio, we couldn't do all that. But I do think yours and David's acting without it being how it was, it wouldn't be the extent of the piece that we
Yeah.
I mean,
I've got to say, sorry, it was awful until we put the music in,
Yes.
and that added emotion
Of
to the
course.
scene
Yeah.
and made it less
Because I do
laughable.
think if we couldn't get David for the wizard, he was not free. I think if, let's say I was to play the wizard, I would not be able to do it like
No.
David did.
No.
Because straight away, I can't act.
yeah.
No way on earth I can act.
Well, they've got that experience. He knows. He had experience with theatre in the past, so he's been around people who can act. So he probably took those traits and put it into the wizard. And then
Well, he did give us two versions of the wizard, like one very evil, which we didn't want,
yeah,
and he gave us one that was what we used in the final piece.
Yeah,
Yeah.
David originally wanted to play the wizard as more obviously evil, but we had to shut that down after the rehearsals because it didn't fit our piece
yeah.
very well.
Do you feel you all met the brief correctly?
Yes, other than the fact that we overran by 30 seconds, but we overran for the good reason of wanting to include credits so that we could credit the work of everyone
Yeah.
who was involved.
And also, it was important to go overboard because obviously, as our story is very narrative based, it's good for it to go over so it can actually tell the story more faster. Because
We didn't want to destroy the pacing or
Yeah.
because we'd already cut out like an entire page of the script.
yeah,
We didn't want to cut more out, which then the story's just like, huh, what's going on?
Yeah.
Because I know when like David was overlooking it, he noticed that there was loads of cut out,
yeah,
but even
Yeah.
he said you couldn't cut anymore because it wouldn't make sense.
yeah.
So we didn't want to cut location shoots out because that is how we would do the end of that episode. We'd have to have it ended like that,
Yeah.
which was very good. Like photography, all the camera work was all very good on that day.
It was indeed.
Yeah.
But so I didn't want to like not show that to an examiner or show that to the class when we show it to them.
Exactly.
I wanted to keep it, and also we wanted the credits because all the class helped us clean the studio. We had like the people
It's-
giving us the cameras, the sets. We needed to credit them.
It's morally right to
Yeah.
credit people who worked hard on making this.
Yeah.
We wanted to show that it weren't just
Us,
as
yeah,
a group.
because
It was
it's
more
not-
It was
people.
more people. Yeah,
It's the whole media department, really.
Because
Yeah.
without them, we wouldn't got it to an extent. We would probably still have like a
Because-
really naff set. We'd have like a.
Mm.
yeah,
We wouldn't have the costumes. Well, the costumes would be how they were,
yeah.
but we wouldn't have the script done in
Yeah.
time to be mainly doing the costumes. We wouldn't have the
Yeah.
set. We'd have to gone out and bought more stuff. We've already spent over
Yeah.
100 quid. We don't spend any more than that. Like
Because-
we didn't. Without them, we wouldn't have got.
It's unrealistic that three guys can
Mm.
just make a whole entire thing by themselves.
Yeah.
It's really
No,
unrealistic.
we needed the external help.
We also needed external help, like from each of us, because
Yeah.
we each didn't just have one role. We each
Yeah.
had like you scripts, then we also had editor, like helping with the music. We
Yeah.
had you as director, actor, like production design. Me on the I did cameras, producer, editing, music. We've all got multi roles.
Yeah.
Everyone
precisely.
does everything. It's
Yeah.
just a little bit of like a main role.
There's
Yeah.
a main role.
We each have like a role that we would
Yeah.
prioritize, but we each
We
have
do-
like two roles like
Yeah.
on the side that we have to do because of the time constraints
You
and
branch,
the amount of people in our group.
you branch off to other departments to get stuff done, basically. Yeah.
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 And that's how it is on an actual film set.
Yeah,
There's
it
not
is.
just one.
And that
department.
doesn't take away from our effort because it
No.
shows networking skills,
Yeah.
the skills of working
Was
with
able
other
to
people.
communicate throughout the class. Saying, can we have some
Yeah.
help? Can
Yeah.
we get that?
Also made up. Also good for going to like different departments because like real estate goes like different departments. Like went to the the prop department, asked for them stuff, went to all these different departments, asked for them for supplies.